In order to determine a cause-effect relationship between a couple variables, we do need to have a randomized experiment where the researcher has controlled for things. And the most simple type of experiment is the randomized comparative design. In this design, we randomly assign our cases to different treatment groups, and then we just compare the end result of the response variable. So here's an example where we're trying to look at a shoe company who wants to know if the type of shoe impacts the speed of the runners. They're looking at a variable that's heel-toe drop, or difference in height between the heel of the shoe and the toe of the shoe. We have two types of them, then the minimalist shoes and then the more traditional shoe. And they want to know if the lower heel-toe drop will cause runners to run more quickly. So they have 300 marathon runners of varying abilities in their study. And so they will run a 5K. Their time will be used to establish pace, and then we're going to look at their results. So here's a quick diagram to look at this randomized comparative design. We have our runners. We have 300 of them. So we would randomly choose 150 to go to one shoe type, and then the other 150 runners go to the other shoe type, and that being randomly assigned is important here. And then what we would do at the end is compare their average times to see if there was a difference in the two shoe types. Here's another quick example, child growth hormone in sleep. It says about 60% of a child's growth hormone is secreted during sleep, so it's believed that lack of sleep in children might stunt growth. So if we're looking at our variables here, we're seeing if sleep is going to affect growth. So we have those as our explanatory and our response variable. And then we're supposed to describe a randomized experiment to see if this was really a causal association. Does one thing cause the other? So here's an example. Maybe we have 100 children in our study. So we say 50 of them are going to be in a group that gets less sleep, and the other 50 are going to get in the group that gets more sleep. So to be a randomized experiment, we do have to assign the children to the sleep amount. And then we'd check their growth after 1 month, and we'd compare their averages. Is this an ethical experiment? Well, no, we're depriving some kids of sleep. So really here, if we were to just track how much sleep children get naturally and their growth, we are not doing a randomized experiment and then can not say that there's a cause-effect relationship. So even though this randomized experiment would let us see if we had a cause-effect relationship, it is not an ethical experiment.